Okay, this is my Bluebird pusher diesel. I think it's 8.3, 250 horsepower. I just raised this bus today about 21.5 inches. That way my sheeting will fit in there, and that way I'll have headroom. Okay, here's the mechanism that I raised the bus with, and it was very simple to do. These are just 1/4 inch plate, and I have a 7/8 inch awl thread right here. So the 7/8 inch awl thread actually is what stabilizes the bus. So you want to pipe this fairly tight on your awl thread, and then what you do is you weld these right onto the hat channel, and then the other one you want to make sure that it's long enough so that this, however high you're going to raise it, you have plenty of space. You don't want to get part way up and find out that your awl thread is not long enough. So mine's 3 foot long, and I welded it to this, and then I welded it to the top of the hat channel too, which is now separated. But I welded it to the top one to the top, and then you just start separating your nuts. And it's when it's welded good and strong, it just lifts your bus up very straight. Now, you can see as you spread the nuts apart, it will raise the unit, and when you get it all the way up, there you see I'm on the top and on the bottom piece of hat channel. So you just need maybe a few inches in between that to cut, and that's all. You can see that I'm just up a little bit above where I cut and a little bit below where I cut. And you weld these 1/4 inch plates right on, then you can just start separating your nuts right there, and it lifts your bus. And you don't have any fear of it falling over or anything. So for me, it was just a really, really great idea. I had come up with all kinds of ideas on screwing 2x6s on the outside to keep it from going anywhere and then jacking it up. But for me, the awl thread was a very easy fix. And I saw that on Transcendence. It's a gentleman who is rebuilding his bus. So I saw it on there and liked the idea and just used it, and it worked great. Now I just took a Sawzall and I went around after I had these welded on, so it was all stabilized. I just went around with the Sawzall and I cut all of the columns, every one of them, and then I had the pleasure of figuring out how to cut the back and the front, and I'll talk to you about that in just a minute. But the back was the most difficult, where the air breather is located back there. It was very difficult to get that back cut properly. So I'll tell you exactly how I did that, but it turned out real good. And then the front, I just cut a straight across, right in the center between my two columns, between the second and the third column, right behind the bus driver. And again, most of my ideas, a lot of them came from just watching YouTubers, but a big part of it came from Transcendence, a gentleman who's building a bus, and he is a great craftsman, and does a good job on his work. So I'll show you what I've done, and it might make it look a little easier for some of you, because you don't have to be as great a craftsman to do it, maybe. But things are coming together. I'm very excited about putting my bus together, and so hope you enjoy this. Good morning. I've got the 6-inch railing, one down each side, at the 36-inch level, which would be the top of the cabinet. 36 inches is about in the middle of that. So the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to cut in the windows. and that way I'll know exactly where my runners go. So I started one. You can see the little cut there. As soon as we get the windows cut out, then I'll go ahead and continue all of my runners. I'm going to show you how I'm cutting out my windows. Yours may be different, but I'm using the metal piece that came from under the windows. I'm using that back under my window right here. So it's already cut to fit. Everything works great. So it's very easy. Once I cut my hole, set my window in, then this simply goes right back. Then I can rivet it from the outside, and I can also screw to it when I put my inside trim on. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut out the window and put it in. So there'll be a lot of noise, so I'm going to cut that out for you. Maybe speed this up for you. Well, I'm going to put on some gloves. When I'm cutting vertically like that, I get a lot of sparks. I don't like to wear gloves because I can't find any that fit me because my hands are so wide. So, but we'll make them work. Right now I'm just I'm putting in all thread. This is a 3-foot piece of 1/2-inch all thread, and I'm putting this in to hold my generator, which you'll see later in a later episode. It's going in to hold my generator in place. So the easiest way for me to get it on there, I'll put a washer and a nut. First of all, I'll put a washer and a nut on here. I've already drilled a 1/2-inch hole, but it's a very tight hole because this is a full 1/2-inch, this all thread is. So it doesn't, you can't put it through the hole. So I'll just run my drill up, and we'll put this on. Got it started, and now we're going through real quickly. It's just threading itself through that 1/2-inch hole. And now I'm putting Loctite on these bolts. I'll run them on down until they're right next to the floor. And I'll put the nut back on it. I just put the nut on there in the first place just to make sure that that if I mess up the threads, I wouldn't be able to get a nut on there. I just put it on there to prevent that. But right now, you can see I'm just turning it by hand because it threaded itself. It made a nice track for itself through the floor. By the way, this is 1-inch plywood in this bus. We did not take the rubber off the floor, although a lot of people say that you should. We're going to find out. We are also putting in radiant floor, but we're going to find out whether or not we have any smell from the bus. So we can pass that on to you. But I don't believe that there's going to be a problem because we're putting down 1.5-inch foam and then over the top of and then 3/4-inch subfloor. And over the top of this 3/4-inch subfloor, we're putting hardwood floor. So it's not going to be going anywhere, that's for sure. But okay, so right now Um, I'm just putting the blue Loctite on there. Make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And that way it won't back out on us, that's for sure. And as soon as I get these put in, I have 2 more to put in. As soon as I get these put in, then I'll be ready to go ahead and finish out my subfloor and my radiant floor to the front of the bus. Right now I'm about 10 feet from the front of the bus, and so I'll finish that out as soon as I get these on. But if I put the floor down first, I wouldn't be able to get to this part of the project. So have to kind of think ahead on some of these things. Make sure that you actually get first things done first. When you put your supports in for your generator, if you're doing a bus that's like mine, I took out the air conditioner underneath, and that's where I'm putting my generator, because we're using rooftop air conditioners. You have to run your motor for these air conditioners in the school buses to operate. The motor has to be running, which can be very expensive. 5.5, 5.5. And I want that screw to go down into the plywood below. See, 5.5 inches. There we go. Okay. Now we're going for the third one. And this will be 4 feet. Okay. Now to connect all these, I'll take this jig up and I'll get a little small jig. I don't need to have to manhandle that. I have a little small one here. It's just got a screw in one end. That's all it needs to do this. And we're going to route this, and again I'm going to hold it the same distance. I'm going to hold it 8 inches from the end. You may not be able to see this, but it actually puts a nice little groove that's just the right size for my pipe to bend through. before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and put in these these reflectors right here. Now, really pretty non-scientific. It takes 2.5 reflectors. That leaves a little space in between them for each line. Okay, so my camera's straight. Now I've got to make sure that there's nothing in the way of my PEX itself, because we're going to be pulling it off this reel. Now, taking it off the reel keeps it from twisting. If you unroll it, try to unroll it, it's going to be a big mess for you. So I just got an old office chair. Well, my wife is playing the piano. Oh, blessed be the name of the Lord.